There we go. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, we are now recording. And it'll stop being blurry in just a second. All right, perfect. All right, guys, so I am here with the beautiful Sandra, and I have worked with her in the past, and I was actually an assistant with the company that we worked both with at the time. So she's got an interesting perspective of knowing me as an assistant, and then now we're good friends. And I just found out recently that Sandra has her own assistant agency. And so I was like, oh my God, I have to interview you for this. Like, my audience will go crazy. Like, they will love this perspective. So if you could just introduce yourself, say what you do, just give a little bit of information.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Sandra Freitas. Back in 2005, I built a company where I was just helping people with their tech and marketing skills. So online, so I was working with a lot of coaches. I actually wanted to be a life coach, but then when I was surrounded by life coaches, I saw that they really needed my technical expertise as well. So it kind of morphed into this, and then I hired one assistant just before I went on vacation. We could talk about that too. And then I replaced her with someone else, and I replaced her with someone else, and then I grew this group, and I think at the most we were 29 contractors in the business. I don't know where we're at now. I should probably count that, but yeah. So we do everything from online marketing, whether that's email marketing, social media marketing, SEO, to building your membership site, building your course, to live events, to Facebook marketing, Facebook group marketing, Facebook lives, graphics, coding. I could go on, but all that online stuff that people just don't want to know or just don't care to do, we're the ones that like to do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, if you're flying the plane, don't be serving the coffee, right? I mean, it freaks you out if you see a pilot in the cabin. You're like, oh, why are you here serving me coffee? Who's flying the plane? Yes. So I honestly believe that if your skill set and your joy is not in coding your website or handling customer service or whatever, please outsource that so that you can focus on what you love doing and also what you're good at doing and serving.
Yeah. One of my very first coaches, that's where I developed this business, he had us take a sheet of paper and put a line down the middle, and it was all the stuff you love to do and all the stuff you don't like to do in your business. And I would put another column in as all the stuff you are doing, but you probably could get someone else to do for you so you can have more leisure time. But he made us do that. And I know I'm a horrible graphics designer. I mean, I'm no good. Okay. So you don't want me to do your graphics. You don't want me to do your copywriting. So I make sure that we have people on our team that do both of those because I can't. But yeah, so I also know I don't want to do my taxes. So I have an accountant and a bookkeeper, So things like that, I've always kept in the back of my mind. What am I great at and should be doing, and what do I not want to do or I'm good at but shouldn't be doing? So yeah.
Yeah, and I would even say maybe a fourth column would be things that you want to eventually incorporate in your company that you have no time to do. Because then, you're like, I could outsource that actually. Yeah. Or if I outsource this, I have time to do this.
Yeah, or who do I need to hire to help me do column number 4?
Exactly. Yeah.
I just did that actually without thinking about making the list. I just
Yeah, and I think when you're starting off, you feel like you have to do it all. And maybe initially you do a lot of it yourself, and then you develop a process for it, and then it's it's way easier to outsource something once you have done it yourself and you're like, okay. But it's so hard to let go. How did that feel the first time you let go?
So it was crazy for me because I started the business February 2005. But less than a year later, my friends are like, let's go to Africa for a month. I'm like, I can't say no. Excuse me. So I thought, well, how am I mean, realistically, I'm not going to do work while I'm in Africa. like there's no Wi-Fi by the elephants, and I don't want any Wi-Fi there, right? So how can I realistically leave my business for a month without abandoning my clients? And it was just me at the time. So I was kind of like pushed to get my first assistant because, well, I really wanted to go on this vacation and nothing was going to stop me. But I didn't want to lose clientele and I didn't want anyone to be disappointed with me. So I actually hired someone. I knew of her. I To this day I don't remember how we met, but I mean, I knew back then. I don't remember now. And I said, "Here's what's going on. I'm going on vacation. I really need you to like take care of my clients while I'm gone. And if there's any work after that, we can like keep that going." She's like, "Don't worry. I take over for other friends of mine who are virtual assistants over and over again. So we got this." So I came back. Everything was great. Money was still coming in.
Yeah.
That was nice. And we worked together for a little while. She then went on to other things. I hired someone else. She went on to other things. And then I hired another person. And then it just started to snowball. It's like, okay, well, now we're getting more and more clients. I can't take them all. You take this, you do this, you do that. Oh, I don't want to do, the project management. Someone else better do it. So we have project managers, and then we hired Erica, who's like my OBM, online business manager. So she's me. If we did an org chart, it would be me, her, our project managers, and all of our contractors. So Erica's job is she manages clients for the most part on a higher level, like billing and sales calls, and then she manages our project managers. So whenever they have questions, then whenever she can't answer that question or it's more strategy, then it comes to me. But we really just started with me, and now we've just kept growing and growing. And so the first time around, it was scary, and it was especially scary because I wasn't going to have contact for a month.
Yeah, I can't even believe you did that. Like, oh my God.
And the funny thing is like, Summer, there were internet cafes. I could have gone in and checked my email, but I made a promise to myself that I would not be online while on this vacation, which I've never done ever since. But man, it's great. It felt good. While my friends were checking their email, I went and got like a massage. And while my friends were checking email, I was at the bar. I mean, there was so much more fun things to do than check your email. And it was great because I felt like she really had things covered and I got to relax. So that first time was scary. I got back, everything was fine. Nobody died, nothing blew up. We were fine. And I have a vacation of a lifetime.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of people are at the point now where they feel really overwhelmed, but it almost feels too overwhelming to hire somebody and onboard them and figure out what you needed to give them. Like, what would you say to people that feel that way?
Oh, so many things. So first of all, I would make that list of stuff that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing or stuff that you want to get done. And have that conversation with either the VAs that you're hiring or the one that you did, like, what of this can you take on? But you know what? If you sat down with your VA and you said, where do you see how you could help me in my business? They could probably take off things off your list that you didn't even fathom anyone could. So for that particular, when I went away that first time, I had her check my email. I had her respond to any client things that needed to be done, and she did some of the tasks. She made sure my newsletter went out, which I had scheduled ahead of time anyways, but she made sure it went out. And it was like all the basics to get us through that first month. If I was going to hire someone and I wasn't going anywhere, which is really smart, don't wait till you're on vacation.
True.
Then I would look at my day and think, okay, what is it that I do throughout the week, Monday to Friday, that someone else could totally do for me? And give them those tasks to do while you're in town. And you can create videos, you can create, you you can use loom.com and create little videos of what it is that you do and send it to them to take over while you're in town. So you can answer questions, or you can say, you could have, next time can we try this way, or next time can we try that way. I really had a difficult time letting go of other tasks like sales, like billing, like paying our team. I liked paying our team. I wanted to know when they were being paid and how much they were being paid, like just to kind of get an overview of where the business was going. But then when I was pregnant with my son, and I knew I was going to go on maternity leave. Now in Canada, we get a year maternity leave. It's going up to
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Really, except I'm an entrepreneur. I don't get that.
Right.
But I wanted the opportunity to have a year with him. And so when I was very, very pregnant, that's when I transferred all my sales calls to two people on our team. Erica was one of them, and we do. She did all the invoicing for our clients already, but now she pays out the team, and she just sends me a summary every month of here are the non-recurring revenue that we're getting from clients. So if clients are paying us differently than recurring, then she sends me that. And then when the team sends their invoice, in our process, we pay them all with PayPal. So they send us their PayPal email address in case it's changed, the amount and how many hours they worked. So I can just see in my Google preview how much their invoice is. And I just hit archive because they've already sent that to Erica to be paid, and I don't have to think about it.
Nice.
So it was the things that I was worried about. We found a workaround so that I can still be involved, but still get the info I needed.
I love that. Like, if you can, I like that. Okay, so what you're saying is that even though you're really scared to let something go, sometimes there's a way to make it easy without like you losing all of the control with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I remember once having a coaching call with my client. I'm going to say around 2008. So I already had started building the team. And I said to her, I am so much more or less involved in my business now that I'm actually scared. And she said, why are you scared? I go, I feel like I should know everything that's going on in every single client's project because I want to. And she said to me, do you think Bill Gates knows about everyone who's bought Microsoft Windows or whatever, or a PC? And I'm like, no.
True. So if you want to expand at some point, you'll just have to look at the important things. Interesting. Yeah. A snapshot.
So we just I get a snapshot of how all the clients are doing, and I actually meet with our clients. It's an optional call, but every 15 minutes a month, and they just let me know what they're up to. If there's anything I need to do to make things better, we do that. If they just want to say hi, we just say hi and have a cup of tea like I did yesterday with a client. Great.
Yeah.
It's all about relationships. So
I like that. I like that too because you're able to focus on flying the plane, which is the relationship building anyway. Right? Like, I mean, if you're in the trenches with the clients, they're all of a sudden like, wait, why are you serving me the coffee and the peanuts and telling me where the emergency exits are and like all of the things that you don't need to be necessarily doing yourself.
Yeah. And so what that's allowed me to do to let the team take care of all the tech and marketing stuff is it allows me to do the stuff that I really love to do now, which is the consulting and the strategy and the coaching and the teaching. All of those things I love to do. And I can't do that if I'm like installing a WordPress plugin late at night or what have you. So that's what I love to do. So in order to make space for me to do that column number 4, I needed to delegate and shift off work to other people.
Yeah. If I can just touch on the analogy one more time, I just feel like you're really explaining this so well that I'm like, oh yeah, like if they got on the plane in the first place, it's not for the peanuts, right? It's not for like serving the coffee anyway. It's for where you're flying the plane. Like you're the one that has the vision of where the plane is going. If they got on that plane, they're not going on the plane for the customer service necessarily. They're going on the plane for the vision where you're taking them. Like, yeah. I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to like By the way, guys, I'm going to draw this up and no, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I love that. Okay, cool. So just getting back to like where people are initially and the feelings that are holding them back for this, like, what are like, you've described a lot of the different things that you've outsourced, but for that one virtual assistant, what were the tasks, if you could just expand on that you were able to delegate, like seamlessly, flawlessly, easily, and were there processes for it?
Yeah, so email, okay. And now, email was hotter back then than it is now. People do a lot of social media, like Facebook Message or whatever. I would have a process. So I had a process in place. Like if people email about this, here's copy and paste this paragraph, and you can send it back out to them. Or like if there's anything that was like kind of happening over and over again, I would just copy and paste the thing. I've actually had. So when Erica took over, she took on a lot of our emails, and we actually created a support@wpblogsites.com website, our email, because everything was coming to me and then I was forwarding it over. Is that a good use of my time? No. 2 seconds? Yes, it takes 2 seconds, but not a good use of my time.
Now you're handing the coffee mug to the person
I'm
that's
watching
it.
the coffee mug, and I'm like, no. So we created that email address. I have access to it, but it goes into her inbox and it goes into someone else's inbox. And when she first started, she would take a look at previous emails, how I responded to people, so that she can respond in the same sort of way. So, I wouldn't put myself as like a professional, like lawyer and doctor. I would not respond in that way. I respond in a very funny, comical, lighthearted kind of way. So she wanted to get that kind of voice captured. So that's one of the things we did was here's the people that could possibly email. Here are the subjects that can possibly email. Here's kind of handle it. Here's how I handled it in the past. And in fact, what I've done a couple times was while the emails were still coming to me, I'd reply and CC Erica so she could see how it was being replied.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Erica already came from a really big, company that did all this stuff. So she was, really well trained, but it was great to get my kind of voice. And so she knew also where everything was,
So did you find her through another agency? Like a
No,
VA agency or? Okay.
I find a lot of my team from either referrals or I find them through meeting them at other events. So I actually met Erica at an event in 2006 in New York City. And I had met like a lot of my team is either I met or someone I met at a conference introduced me to them.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. And Erica actually is now in charge of hiring. So she's met them, a lot of people in other ways.
So are those most of the time, are the people that you meet through referrals or whatever, are they specializing in something?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, we more specialize in things. So we have a specific, 2 specific people who are very technical, 3 people very technical. We have, you name it, but very specific mostly. But so, yes, we have general VAs as well.
So that's kind of what I wanted to get into is your experience is running a VA agency. So like, if you just explain to people what that process is, if they go to you, sorry, I don't know if I froze, but if they go to you and they ask, I need to hire a virtual assistant, what do you recommend? Like, what is that process that you walk them through?
Mm-hmm. So if people wanted to hire a VA, so first I would write, this goes with anything you're shopping for, okay? You're shopping for a new laptop, you're shopping for a new, it sounds bad, you're shopping for a person, but you're...
yeah, you're not exactly.
Okay, so bad analogy, but like you want to have your wish list, okay? So what does this person need from a technical perspective? But I'll tell you, there's a line that someone told me once was, you hire for skill and you fire for personality. So that means you've hired them because they've mastered your wish list of skill, but the personality either just came out or your personality clash, something personality wise, it just doesn't work. So When I'm interviewing someone, I ask a few personality questions. So one thing I ask is, what do you do when you're not working? And this gives me a light into where do they value their time to be? So
Hmm.
is it family? Is it travel? Is it um walking dogs at the shelter? Is
Hmm.
it walking their own dog? What is it that they value their time to be? If someone says to me, I don't have any free time, I work all the time, I am not going to hire them. And here's why. If they're working all the time, I've been there. And guess what? They're going to burn out, and they're going to burn out hard, and you may not be able
And
to
they're
find
not time
work.
rich. They're not
No,
time rich.
but they're going to like who wants someone who's on the verge of burnout? Who wants to be
Yeah.
the feather that hurt the camel's back or whatever that saying is?
Mm,
I don't want that. I want someone to have free time because I don't want you to burn out. I don't want you to lose creativity, and when you're that tired, you're not going to be creative.
mm.
Um, so that's one of the questions I
I have a
ask.
question. Do you hire like more than one in order to like just in case that one doesn't work out, or like how do you go
As
about
as
doing that?
much as possible, I try to hire duplicate skills. Let's say one person's really busy or one's on vacation or whatever. I want to make sure we're covered.
Mhm.
But also personality wise, one of our team members may not work personality wise with one of our project managers or a client. So I want to
Mhm.
have an alternative whenever we can. We do that. Yeah. What other question I ask, and it's very specific to our agency, but we're all very much animal lovers. And so I have to ask them if they own an animal. And usually it comes up in conversation anyways, or picture of their dog in their background, whatever. Um, but that's just something that we value as a company. But you hire for skill, you fire for personality. So try to get some social time in that interview to see if you mesh well personality wise. You know, there are certain values that I feel very strongly um, on my own values that if someone had the opposite values, we wouldn't be a
Mhm.
fit. If someone was absolutely racist and biggest, sorry,
Yeah.
there's no way we can get through a day together. It's just not going to happen. But
Have,
yeah,
sorry, have you hired international
yeah.
VAs? How have you seen that? Even though like maybe their hobbies might be different if they're in the Philippines versus if they're in Canada or the US, like how have you seen that work out?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we had a couple working with us in the UK, a woman that works with us in Greece, a woman who works with us out of Australia. I believe she's in Sydney. I don't know why I can't remember right now. And we had someone working with us. He was in Ecuador. And
Mm.
so you can imagine Ecuador and UK had very different hobbies,
And time schedule or time
right?
availability. Yeah,
But
interesting.
what works really good with our team member in Australia is that when we have launches and things are going on overnight, we
Hmm.
don't have to stay up. She can handle it during the day on her time, which has just
Ah.
happened last week. So she was able to take over. So that doesn't burn out our team.
Mm.
Also, when I do coaching calls and I record them, I let her know. She then takes that recording and sends it to the client overnight. So I can promise clients you'll get your coaching call within the next 24 hours, usually within 12 hours. And it's a great thing. So no one has to work in the evening or night.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Really work for us. Yeah, and she's amazing. I'm not letting her go and I'm not saying her name.
You could not hire her, y'all.
I am keeping her. But so so rewarding. So rewarding. So she has a 1-year old. She was getting ready to, either she was going back to work or she was doing VA full time. And, we hired her and I loved her. I mean, we have the same taste in dogs. So that was obvious. Um, but we had a great conversation about different values. It just kind of came up. We hired her. And when she got the first month of her hours, and we paid her, she wrote me this wonderful message, and it went something along the lines of, I just want to thank you so much for believing in me and trusting me with your company. And because of the work that I was able to do for you this month, I can see that I don't have to go back to work and that what I want to do to stay at home with my son is viable and a true option. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, stop. It was amazing to have that acknowledgement, but to know that we're impacting her professionally in such a positive way. And she's doing us a huge favor.
Yeah,
You know?
that's so fun. Interesting. Yeah, I like that because when you think about hiring somebody, you're almost just like thinking about you, right? Like, I need somebody to do all this stuff for me. But you're also letting somebody else like do something that they enjoy and make
Mm,
money doing something that they're good at doing.
yeah.
That's really interesting. I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so funny because everyone will look at what we do, especially all the hard techie stuff, and they're like, I don't know how you guys do this. You must really like tech. Like, yeah, we do. We get our geek egos on, love this stuff, And I just think, the typical the typical entrepreneur doesn't want to know it because they're great at like medical stuff, or they're great at, training, or they're great at writing books. They don't need to know which plugins are the one to use. They
Yeah.
don't need to know what the latest version of blah 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 is.
I don't want to know. Sorry, I keep looking down. This actually relates directly. I've got my puppy here
Yes.
trying to get my attention. So we are also dog people. We related right
Yes.
away. Okay, I've just got a couple more questions. I really want to get your experiences, like what challenges you see your customers or your clients running into when they're hiring a VA, and how you go about making sure that that goes smoothly. Like, I know that a lot of people are like, ugh, like I have so many hesitations. Can you voice those?
Yeah, I would voice your hesitation to that person straight up, right? Hey,
Oh, that's
hey, Summer, I've never hired an assistant before. No one's ever been in my inbox. I have a huge issue with privacy. I have a huge issue with trusting people. Be straight up.
I love that.
I mean, I think that's really important for any relationship. And some advice I gave to one of our team members the other day was, she said to me, I offered my advice, but I don't think he wanted to hear what I had to say, or I don't think that he liked it. And I said, okay, so just say, sorry, did I overstep my boundaries? Am I not supposed to do that? Did you not like it? She goes, well, doesn't that sound needy? I'm like, no, I do it with everyone. I want to know what your boundaries are so I don't go over them, but I also want you to know that I want to be able to provide the best stuff that I can. And I want your permission to feel like I can just say it right away. So what was
I
your
like that.
question?
That's so relationship building too. I love that. Like, it's not just like you're hiring a machine to do your emails, like you're hiring another person. And even if they're in the Philippines or if they're international, they can still, like, they're still a person. Like, even if you're paying them, a small amount, you can actually like build a relationship with them. And I feel like that's like a dissonance that a lot of people have. So I really love that.
Yeah. Relationships are everything. Right now we are going through a marketing switch where I think a lot of people are trying to get abundance of people to buy their stuff, and like just so much that they forgot that there's people and faces and families behind that dollar amount. And it's driving me crazy, but I think, at the other hand, when you get this, you'll be more successful than those trying to just get dollars and eyeballs. Because relationships.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one? Sorry, it skipped. I just want to make sure I get that because it sounded so important.
Where did I skip at?
It was like.
So okay, I'll repeat what I got. So many people are focused on the numbers and the dollar bills and the amount of people buying their stuff. They don't look at what's behind that dollar bill. So is a human being. They've got a family. They've got people who depend on them. Maybe they depend on others, and more people are feeling taken advantage of, even if they weren't. But they're just feeling that because there's a lack of trust going on, like online especially.
And in sales and not stories, like, and If you're just like selling to get money, you're not connecting with people. And the reason why you created whatever you created is probably to make an impact. Like you thought, oh my gosh, somebody needs this.
Well,
I love that. Yeah.
And so I think that if we stop to think, how can I build a relationship with people before trying to shove my product down their mouth or whatever? Like, how can I build a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I have built a lot of relationships I've been online since 2005. So I've built a lot of relationships online. In the last week, I've had 2 people sign up really big contracts with us, ultimately just because of my name, just because they knew they had a relationship with me. And that feels amazing. So did it take 14 years for one of them to buy from me? But I'm not counting, and if she never bought from me, that's fine. To me, it's all about building relationships because there are human beings, there are family members, there are dogs, there are cats, there are beta fish all behind it. And that means more to me than just trying to shove whatever I'm selling into someone's inbox so they buy it.
And going back to virtual assistants too, like if you can build a relationship with your VA, they feel like they're a part of your company, they're a part of your life. And so when they go to your customers or when they go to your social media, they're representing you and they connect to you. And so they're like authentic and genuine in their work ethic. And in like, I
Yeah.
feel like it does blossom into something beautiful.
I have to say that one of our team members revealed that she works harder for me than she does her own clients because she doesn't want to let me down because she totally respects me.
Yeah.
And wow, I didn't even like think about that, but I mean, I just want to build relationships with people because that's just who I am. And I wish more people had tried to build relationships with me, either when I was starting out, before I was even in business and buying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it makes a huge difference. So I've worked on other clients' projects in the past where they had virtual assistants, and you can tell who is not being treated well.
Mm.
You can tell who will not go to bat for their I don't want to say employer, but the person that hired.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like that wasn't me. I'm sitting outside of a
Motorcycle.
major road. That was
I
actually a semi hitting the bumps right outside. I'm like, excuse me. Anyway, okay, so one of the things, going back to the original question, is what challenges have people encountered? And I know that like relationship building is a big one, but have you seen any other challenges that people have faced, and how have you overcome those or helped them?
So biggest challenges are always communication. So
Mm.
I thought you were going to do this. Okay, well, look back at your communication. Did you say when they were supposed to do that? I thought you were going to do it this way. Okay, did you say it that way? Or did you think you said it that way?
Oh,
And
I love that.
when you're working with a team, everything's very much documented, whether it's in your project management system, email, Slack, whatever, so you can go back and look. So always communicate with a team member what you want done, how you want it done if you need to give that detail, by when, and if you're working with hours, how many hours should they spend on that? What's the max? So that at the end of the month you're not surprised with a 200 hour bill.
That should have been 30 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
And it works both ways, right? So if you're the assistant, you have to say, look, this is taking more than 30 hours as we had planned because this issue, this came up. Do I move forward or not? Having that direct communication back and forth. So that's a big one. One thing I will give as a tip, one of my very, very first clients, she would always pay her bill within the hour that I sent it. And where at others would I be chasing them for a week or two? Well, guess who I'd rather be doing the work for, right? But so one time I asked her, I said, one thing I love about you is that you pay your invoice like within an hour. And she said, well, I used to be an accountant and I always knew how important it was to get paid. So I want to make sure you're paid on time so that, there isn't any, I don't want to say animosity, but there isn't any question on your side you know, I appreciate you and you should be paid for your time.
Respect too. I like that.
Right. So pay them on time. Don't make them chase their payments.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, like, if you're hiring an assistant, maybe they're reminding you, like, ask them to remind you. If you're a forgetful person, like, send your invoice and then remind me if I don't pay you within an hour or the day or whatever, because
Yes.
I don't, like, that's another clear communication and expectation is like, listen, I'm a forgetful person and I mean no disrespect, but if you could just send me a reminder, it might be 24 hours. Like, if you're just clearly communicating with them,
Yeah.
it's another respect thing. It's another relationship building.
Yep, absolutely. And I can't tell you, I mean, the times that I've had to go to a client and say, hey, I haven't been paid yet. Is everything okay? It's not a conversation that anyone wants to have. And it just adds
Super
stress.
awkward.
They have better
Super
things they need
awkward.
to do, right? They
Yeah.
want to work on your stuff. They don't want to chase you for payment.
And even like, so I've been an assistant for almost 10 years, and I always feel like really like nervous around payday because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're paying me a lot. Like, am I worth this amount? Like, because to me, it's like I'm doing easy work. I'm doing emails. I'm like, like arranging their calls and stuff. And I'm like, this is so easy. And then I realized like, this is not like, it's not easy for them to do. It breaks up their concentration. It's like, like, I'm valuable in their eyes, which is why they hired me in the first place. So once I got over that value hump, like, you are paying them money, but for them, like, that money is more valuable than than what they're doing. And for you, that what they're doing is more valuable than that money that you're giving them.
If I had to do all that work, it would take probably a day out of my week. At the end of the year, that's 50 days. Yes, you're valuable, and yes, you should be paid that, because I'd rather give you the work to do so I gain 50 days to either do work or take time off. I'd rather have Friday off and pay someone to do the stuff.
Yeah. And also, something that people forget is that once you're like now having to concentrate on email, it breaks your focus from the creativity that you were doing from like whatever. And now it takes like 1 hour to answer emails, but 5 hours out of your day because now you have to like get back in the groove, or like you're just like depleted from answering angry emails or something, right?
Well,
like,
you know what I did yesterday? I wrote to my team, so we're on Slack. I wrote to my team. I said, if anyone needs me, I'm going into virtual hibernation for the next 3 days because I'm writing content for our course. So I will check Slack and email first thing in the morning, mid-afternoon, and then around 4 o'clock. So if you need me, write to me, but I'm not looking at it until those times. And they're like, okay, no problem, done. So I have a Mac, so I went to a separate desktop and worked on it. And like none of the other notifications came up to talk to me, and I shut off a lot of my notifications already.
So I like that.
Distracted.
My last question. Well, do you have anything that you would like to add to that before I ask you?
No, that's good.
Okay, so the course is called The Time Rich, right? And I feel like I am time rich, and I want to ask you what you like. How would you define being time rich, and would you describe yourself as being time rich?
I wouldn't say I'm 100% time rich, but I'm getting there. So it's funny, I've gone like up and down with time rich. I am going to take the month of August off. So ask me in August, I'll say 100%. But before having my son, I would work from about 10 or 11 till like 6 or 7. And sometimes I'd even get back on the laptop and work till 1 in the morning. Now I drop him off at school. I'll start working 9:30, 10, and I stop at 4 when he gets home. And rarely do I get back on the laptop. So I'd say I'm 80% time rich because I'm spending my time with him, and I will take days off even when he's not home just to do my own fun stuff. And go on vacations, extra long weekends. I want to do a field trip with a school. So yeah, like I feel, I'm pretty time rich.
What does it mean to be time rich?
See, to me, time rich is you could do what you want anytime you want, but I've scheduled calls and scheduled meetings, so I can't. That's where I feel like I'm not 100%.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I feel like I'm super time rich because I'm able to like live in my van and travel full time, which is what I want to be doing. Even though 3 days a week, I have to have Wi-Fi for my client calls, for, launching this and for engagement. But I feel like it's the profession I want to have too,
Yeah.
right? Like you have created a company that you want to have, but a lot of people struggle with like, now that I've created this company, I'm like chained to the company. And I think that's not time rich. No, you're not doing it right. Like, of
No,
course.
no, I took the month of August off last year and I'm taking it off this year as well.
Nice.
My son will be home for the month of August and we are just going to be doing tourist stuff and fun stuff outside. And, I live in Canada. Okay. We don't get hot weather all the time. And I'm just going to like spend my days outside because before I do it, it's going to be ice and snow again. And no, I don't want to deal with. That's when I can really get down to work.
Mhm.
But I won't be producing anything in August.
I love that. All right. So thank you so much for this
Thank you.
time. I feel like we really like went off in different directions, but it all came back. So I just enjoyed it. So I hope that people enjoy watching it.
Me
Where
too.
can people find you? Because I know
Yeah.
that people will be curious.
Okay, so our agency is at wpblogsites.com. And people can find me on Facebook, Sandra de Freitas, both my page and my personal profile. I've also got a Facebook group called SOS for Simplified Online Solutions for Entrepreneurs. You can join me in there as well.
SOS for entrepreneurs? Is that what?
Yeah. Hold on.
I just want to make sure it's clear.
Just do it as SOS.
Because when you type in SOS, that pops up. But when I type it in, I want to make sure I can find it.
Why am I not like? It's my own thing, and now I'm finding everything else SOS. One second, here it is. Oh no, I elongated it. That's why it's messing me up. Simplified online solutions for entrepreneurs. I call it SOS.
Once we join, we can call it SOS, but I wanted to make sure that people knew exactly how to find you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your winter in in Canada, ma'am. And I'll bring some sunshine into your life soon.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.